UFC Vegas 105, Josh Emmett taking on Lerone Murphy. This is the weigh-in recap show. We're going to take a look at the fighters on the scale, see how they faced off. Today, we had some fighters miss weight. We had a fight get canceled. We had somebody step in on short notice. Pretty wild day in the UFC today. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's get the video underway. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Starting off the card, we got Talita Alencar taking on Vanessa Demopoulos. I'm picking Talita in this one. I don't really have a lot of confidence in this fight or in this matchup. Like I said, both of these ladies are going to try and utilize their grappling in this matchup. Both of their stand-up I'm not impressed with at all. But let's take a look at them on the scales. Both of them made weight pretty easily. Here's Talita. Got two pictures, Shout out to MMA Junkie. Here's Vanessa. She looks to be, a lot more muscular on the scale. Pretty nice smile here, whatever. Here's the face-off. I was trying to find, there's another site that has, the photos that have the straight-on angle. MMA Junkie is pretty good, but they have, the angled shot. I'd prefer the straight-ons. It gives you a better view of the face-off. But as we see here, all we can see is Vanessa, but she looks to, be locked in, but we'll see how the fight plays off. I'm picking Talita. No difference from the weigh-in. Next up, we got Martin Buday taking on Lerone Satibodiev. So, originally he was supposed to fight Kennedy Nzechukwu. I believe Kennedy had to pull out because of a sickness or something. I didn't really see any details floating around online. I was trying to look for him, but he ended up having to pull out, and comes in Lerone. He actually was fighting in the LFA. He just had a fight 3 weeks ago, actually. And he won third round. Kimura definitely took, some damage in that fight. He got busted open. I want to say it was like the first or second round. He was getting rocked, getting handled, in the wrestling. He landed a few takedowns himself, but I got to say, I wasn't impressed. For him to be, 9-0, he did not look like he was ready to step up into the UFC. But he gets the call. I'm pretty sure he's going to get a call for, Contender Series or the Ultimate Fighter pretty soon. But here he is on the scale. So he showed up at 225. Now, he's originally a light heavyweight, cuts down to 205. So him showing in or weighing in at 225 just tells me that, this is what he probably walks around at. He wasn't in camp. He just fought 3 weeks ago. So concerned about, the fight shape that he's in. I'm pretty sure he's still maintained, a good workout. He's probably still in the gym, but not preparing for a fight. And he just took this fight on a day's notice. So, yeah, here's Martin Buday. Big blobby build. Not really impressed with, what he's been doing in the UFC at all. Here's the face-off. Sadly, I'm going to have to switch my pick to Martin Buday. I think he's going to, look to clinch up, take him down, definitely use his size, and probably get a, boring 3-round decision of just smothering, clinch pressure, ground control time, landing a few shots. I think Lerone will have, a little bit of success in the first round, but after that, I'm pretty sure he'll end up, not gassing out, but probably fading. The takedowns will probably come a lot easier for Martin Buday. And, hopefully Lerone gets another chance in the UFC. I'm pretty sure they'll give him, a fight in a proper camp. I haven't seen anybody get, just a one and done after they get called in for a short notice replacement. But yeah, Martin Buday, sadly, not too confident in Lerone on a 1 day notice, and I'm not really impressed with his striking either. So that would have been, the edge that I give him. He does have, I want to say it's like a 2-inch reach advantage, or 4 inches, 3 inches, 80 to 77 inches. But Martin Buday is a pick. Next up, we got Victor Henry taking on Pedro Falcao. Here is Victor on the scale, made weight, no problems. Here is Pedro, made weight, no problems. Victor looking like a little hippie, 70s hippie. Here is the face-off. Pretty boring. But I'm still sticking with my pick. I think Victor Henry's going to give him, welcome to the UFC. Not a finish or anything, but pretty good 3 round scrappy fight. I think Pedro would definitely have some moments. Definitely, looking to wrestle and utilize the jujitsu. But I think Victor Henry has been, pretty savvy enough throughout his career. He's only had the one submission, which came in his last fight against Charles Jourdain. I don't think. I don't think Falcao is going to be able to get him out of there or anything, but I'll edge Victor Henry on probably a close decision, 29-28. And let's move it along. Next up, we got Loma Lukbumi taking on Estela Nunez. Here's Loma. I think she could do some more, toning up, but she may wait, no issues. And Estela, the first round demon, she's pretty cut up for the division. Here is the face off. She's got the height and the reach advantage. Let's see how many inches in reach she has. 4.5 inches, we'll say. But yeah, Stella Nunes, she cannot be trusted, man. First round, that's all she has, and then she just gasses out. She is, coming off of like a year and a half layoff, so definitely won't be picking her. I'm rocking with Loma and this one, who is still, a huge favorite, -700. Look for her to use that Muay Thai and incorporate some wrestling that she's been doing in her, most recent fights. And I think she pulls it off on the scorecards. Next up, we got Riss McKee taking on Daniel Frunza. If you guys watched my Money Making Plays episode, I do have something special for this fight. It kind of got ruined with the pullouts, but I took Riss McKee by submission because I'm not impressed with Daniel Frunza's takedown defense, and then I have that tied in with GM3 round 3 submission. Definitely, hoping that comes through. Big odds, big money on that one. But here they are on the scales. Riss McKee looking pretty good. This is I'm pretty sure this is his last chance in the UFC. 0-4. Well, 0-3 if you really want to, be technical about it. His first fight was against Hamzat. Not many people nobody in the UFC has beat Hamzat. So that speaks for itself. Here's Danny Frunza with the shades. Pretty good, pretty fit on the scale. Here's the face off. Riss got, a few inches in height. And let me check the reach. I'm pretty sure he's got like 2 inches in reach on him. Oh no, big reach advantage, 78-73. Yeah, so Riss, he's got that sneaky, linky build. I think he can, lock something up. Danny Frunza, I hope he's been working on his takedown defense because he was getting taken down easily by Kutsi in that Contender Series fight. So look out for Riss McKee. I'm picking Daniel Frunza. I still do think he'll be able to land something. Riss is pretty durable, but I think he'll be able to. Like I said, Riss McKee's, his striking is pretty slow. His shots are very predictable, I would say. When he throws his jab, you can tell it's a jab. There's no speed in his hands. Daniel Frunza, I believe, has the speed advantage in his fight, and I think he'll be able to, counter a lot of those shots. Maybe even find a finish, but I respect Riss McKee's durability. I think he can find some success in the wrestling, and I think he's live for a submission. He has 3 submissions under his record, or yeah, under his belt. During his most recent Cage Warriors stint, he has gotten all knockouts, but I think he'll be damn, I can't talk. He'll be looking to wrestle in this matchup. But yeah, Daniel Frunza is the official pick, but look out for Riss for submission. Moving along, we got Diana Belbita taking on Dione Barbosa. Here's Belbita on the scale. The pick is still, Barbosa. She's like a -1,000 favorite. I did see something interesting that I wish I would have played. I forgot who it was that I saw on Twitter, but it was Barbosa. I believe it was inside the distance or knockout or submission in the first round, which I think is pretty live. And I want to say the odds were like +2,000. I definitely wish I would have, sought that out for you guys, but it's a pretty valuable play to look at too. I don't rank Belbita high at all. I think Barbosa is going to make pretty quick work of her. Maybe like a round and a half, just to give her a little bit of respect in the first round. Figure out what she's going to do. Here's the face off. Obita just looks like a nice lady, whereas Barbosa, well, from this side, the side angle, she looks like she's ready to rip her head off. But yeah, Barbosa is the official pick, and I could see inside the distance easily in this one. Next up, we did have a fight get canceled. Sadly, I know a lot of people were banking on Davy Grant. He made weight. His opponent did not show up. I don't know what happened with Daniel Santos. He probably shit in his pants. Saw the old man was ready to scrap and did not want to partake in anything. That's a pretty ugly blemish on the shoot the box guys. You know he doesn't represent all of them, but when you show up and you're representing the team, everybody's going to look at your team like this is what you guys put out. So I don't know what he's got going on. I hope we get some news on it tomorrow during the fights. But that, very unprofessional. Davy Grant, I hope they paid him his show money and his fight money because he showed up, made weight, and was ready to go for tomorrow. Sad that they couldn't get him, a short notice replacement. But I'm pretty sure they'll be taking care of Davy Grant. But shout out to the veteran for showing up and do what he's supposed to do. Very professional. So moving along, we're going to the main card. Guys, if you haven't already, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Drop a W in the chat if you enjoy the content. We got Robert Valentin taking on Torres Finney. I'm still picking Torres Finney. So I was, doing some more research, and I have to take back some of the things I said about Robert Valentin. He is pretty capable, he has pretty capable jujitsu. I just don't think he'll be capable of finding a finish unless it's like a leg lock on Torres Finney because this dude does not here. Like, look at him on the scale. He barely has a neck. I don't see Robert being able to sneak something up. And he also said that he wants to work. He likes to work from bottom. I don't think you want to be under Torres Finney. I think he's going to be looking to ground and pound. Maybe he can snatch an arm up if he's getting reckless, but he has pretty good pressure and control when he's on top of you. So I'm still picking Finney, but I do have to give Valentin some respect. Ryan Loader is pretty good. He didn't necessarily run through him because he did have his back early in that fight, but I don't think he'll be able to get a W against Finney. I think there's a better matchup for him. I just don't think it's Finney. I'm not really high on Finney either, but you got to look at this face off, man. This face off definitely sold me. I was like, once he when he stood to him like this, I was like, yeah, for Torres Finney's gonna get it done. But no, this is pretty funny. 5'8" as a middleweight, that's kind of insane. But yeah, Torres Finney, I think he gets it done. Decision. I think he'll probably control the first 2 rounds. In the third round, it'll be a little interesting. I don't know if he'll get gassed. He's got a lot of muscle, but I can see Valentin winning a round and probably having some striking success. But look for Torres Finney to snatch him up pretty quick and early. Next up, we got Louis Garule taking on Ode Osborne. Now, if you guys watched my video, like I stated earlier, we got half of the lock of the week and Louis Garule. I think he's going to take it on the cards pretty easily. His striking, I'm super impressed with. I think his, he's got. I stated he had D1 credentials. My mistake is D2, but still, he has the wrestling acumen to his name. Very professional. Showed up. He's training with Brandon Royval. You guys know Brandon Royval's work ethic. He's a scrappy guy as well. So when you got guys like that in the gym with you, I have to respect it. Here they are on the scale. Ode Osborne made weight, professional. He looks a little, sunken in. This is a 25 fight, right? Yeah. I don't know. Well, Ode might not be in the UFC much longer if he loses this fight. I was gonna say he might consider bantamweight, but I don't think he has the power for bantamweight either. Here's the face-off. He has the height and the reach advantage, but I think Lewis is going to be able to close that gap fast and do a lot of damage. I expect him to do a lot of body work in this fight, and I don't think Ode is going to want to wrestle with him either. So look out for Louis Garule. I think he's capable of finishing, but I got him winning on the scorecards. Probably, I think he'll get like a 30-27 on maybe like two of the judges, and probably like a 29-28, but unanimous decision easily. Next up, we got GM3 taking on Brad Tavares. Here are the guys in the middleweight with the most fights in the UFC and the middleweight division. Brad Tavares making weight, no issues. GM3, no issues. I think, well, I'm pretty confident that Brad Tavares wins. The thing I'm interested in though is GM3. He's no slouch, you know. He's got 29 submissions. I think he's looking for the 30th, and I think Brad Tavares can definitely be a victim of that. Round three, I think, is the most potential. Like I stated before, he's got a lot of, his last two submission victories came in either the last minute of the second round or early in the third round. So GM3 by submission is definitely live. Here is the face off. I didn't realize he had, or he was this much taller than him. Let me check the actual numbers, because this angle could just be throwing stuff off. Yeah, see, GM3 is 6'1", Brad Tavares is 6'1". Sure, don't look like they're 6'1" here, but yeah. If you guys know the other website that provide the weigh-in photos, please shoot it in the comments. That would definitely help out, and I can give you guys a better reaction to the weigh-ins. So you help me, I help you. But yeah, um, Tavares is the pick. GM3 submission is something I'm looking at though. Next up, man, Chang Ho Lee taking on Cortavius Romeois. Now, Romeois missed weight bad, 139 and a half. So this is not, this is definitely not how you want to start your UFC career off. Your first fight, you're a big favorite. I think he was like minus 240, minus 260, and you lose, you get gassed out. And then in your next fight, you miss weight. And it's not like he was, when I watched the weigh in, they said 139, and he just, I mean, I respect, standing in it, but gosh, man, this is not how you want to start your career. 139 and a half, that's a big, weight miss. It might not seem like a lot of weight in actuality, but, those last few pounds definitely are tough to cut, but it just didn't look like he went back and tried to cut. I'm pretty, usually when you miss weight, they'll give you an extra hour or 2 hours, I believe it is. Depends on the commission, but I want to say Vegas is like an hour. They give you an extra hour to cut the additional pounds. Maybe the doctor told him not to go back and try it, but I think that just makes me even more confident in the Chang Ho Lee fight, or pick rather. Um, Very unprofessional. If he would have, I don't know. I guess he's not letting it affect his performance or his mindset, which I could respect. But man, 139 and a half, that's pretty wild. Here's the face off. Cortavius looks psychotic. I don't know what he did to his hair. It looked like he's trying to like grow wicks, but they look terrible. But yeah, Chang Ho Lee, I think with the weight cut, or the bad weight cut, I would say, I think he'll be able to tire him out probably, and do a lot of work in the clinch. He'll probably get taken down early, but I think he'll be able to weather the storm. And if Cortavius keeps shooting late in the second round, third round, I think he's gonna do what he does in the clinch, land a lot of knees. I think that's definitely gonna weigh on Cortavius early in the fight too. The body work. Cortavius, I do believe, is the better striker, but when they tie up, which Cortavius likes to do, I think that's where he'll be at a disadvantage. And I'm rocking with Chang Ho Lee after the weigh-ins. And for the co-main event, we got Pat Sabatini taking on Joanderson Brito. Pat Sabatini, professional, making the weight, no issues, pretty cut up. And here is Joanderson. He shaved the beard. He said it in his media day that he saw a lot of the guys on his team doing it for their fight, so he just said, let's just do it. But looking pretty good on the scale as well. Here is the face-off. I'm still rocking with Joe Anderson. I think he finds, the finish. That's why I got it as the other part, or the other half of the lock of the week. Joe Anderson Brito inside the distance. I think he gets it done before before, or I'll just say 1.5 rounds. I was trying to figure out another way to say it, but 1.5 rounds, I think Joe Anderson Brito gets it done. And lock of the week cashes, Garule, Brito inside the distance. Definitely have high confidence in both of those picks. And for the main event, we got Lerone Murphy taking on Josh Emmett. Now, I was going to post on my TikTok, if you guys follow me there. Josh Emmett said he loves being the underdog, and you realize he was a big underdog in this fight, and he told everybody to slam it. But I don't think that's a wise idea. I mean, sure, Josh Emmett as an underdog, looks pretty good. It's big money. What is he? Plus 260. Okay, I thought it was bigger than that. Plus 260. You definitely win some money, but he does have a puncher's chance. But that's about it. Josh Emmett, I don't think he's going to outstrike Lerone Murphy. I don't think he's going to out grapple Lerone Murphy. He's not going to out wrestle him. I think Lerone Murphy is just too tactical for him. I think he's going to, pick him apart from outside. Wherever Josh Emmett wants to take this fight, Lerone Murphy is 10 times better than him. The only thing Lerone Murphy doesn't have over Josh Emmett is power, but I think Lerone will be able to tire him out within 3 rounds, avoiding those big shots, and look for Lerone Murphy to find a counter shot and possibly hurt Josh Emmett. I would not be surprised if, Josh loads up and Lerone just cuts the corner, finds like a hook inside, and Josh is, wobbled a little bit. Maybe he doesn't finish him, but I definitely see Lerone hurting him pretty good. Like I said, I like his work in the pocket. The clinch work would definitely be something to look at. His elbows are pretty nice. The knees are pretty nice. I forgot who it was that he was fighting. Somebody shot for a takedown. He threw a knee beautifully up the middle, finished the fight. He doesn't have a lot of finishes on the. How many finishes does he have? I know he doesn't. Recently, he hasn't had a lot of finishes, but he's got 7. So just about half of his fights have been finishes. So we got to respect that. His last finish was what? Americani. That's exactly who I was talking about. 2021. Other than that, the rest of his fights have been decisions, but he's definitely put it on people. Edson Barbosa, he put it on. I'm trying to remember if he hurt Dan Ige. I know Dan Ige dropped him, but did he hurt Dan? I'm not sure. Dan Ige has never been finished either, so. But I think he can definitely finish Josh Emmett. We've seen Josh Emmett finish before. Yair subbed him up, triangle. Who else finished him? Excuse me. Jeremy Stevens knocked him out. So Yair, Jeremy Stevens, and I think that's it. I thought he had 2 subs. Let's see. Nope, 1 submission loss, 1 knockout loss. So he's been finished twice. Ilya put it on him. Ilya could have finished him, but I think he eased up a little bit. Wasn't sure, about the durability of him, and he wanted the fight to go on a little longer, maybe to, pick at his food. Josh, survived a lot of the onslaught. You got to respect Josh. He is a dog. He is, coming in there to fight. But I think Lerone Murphy is just too tactical for him. And coming back from, the Bryce Mitchell knockout over a year and some change ago, I think he's spent too much time out of the cage. He did say he's trying to, or not reinvent himself, but he went back to training like he did in the past. But I don't think those, the power stays, but the ability to react is definitely what's going to go when you age, when it comes to fighting. So I don't think he's going to be able to react as well as he once did before. Here's the face off. Lerone's got the pretty sizable height advantage. Let me check the reach on this one too. Almost 4 inches in reach, but I think Lerone's going to be able to, outscore him, outpoint him, avoid a lot of the big shots. He'll probably get caught maybe once or twice, but I don't think it'll hurt him like Dan Ige did. I think he learned a valuable lesson not to, exchange your shots too long in the pocket with a power puncher. And this is another guy to, capitalize off of. And who knows? We could definitely see him in a number one contender fight after this. I think him versus it's interesting because today Diego and Volk have stated that their first title defense, either way that whoever wins, they want to fight Movzar, who is currently, what is he, like number three? So it's interesting to see who will be next for the winner of this fight. Maybe the winner of the Yair and Pitbull fight, because I know they want to shoot Pitbull into the title picture as sooner than later. But it'll definitely be interesting. Maybe they get the loser of the Volk Diego matchup. But I think whoever wins this definitely is on the title path. Josh Emmett, I think he's past his prime. If he wins against Lerone Murphy, they'll probably have to give him two more fights before they consider, another title fight, seeing that he lost to Ilya convincingly. The Bryce Mitchell knockout was cool, but Bryce Mitchell is not championship caliber. He's about to get slaughtered by Gene Silva next week. So, but yeah, rocking with Lerone Murphy. Let me know in the comments what you guys thought about the picks. If you respect the flip on the Budai Lerone fight. Kennedy had to pull out, but it is what it is. And then we lost the Davy Grant fight. Daniel Santos decided not to show up. He was probably shitting his pants in the locker room. Didn't want to show up and make weight. Sucks for Davy Grant, but I'm pretty sure the UFC would take care of him. But other than that, the card is, still rocking. Lerone Murphy, I think he gets it done. I think Garula is going to put on a fantastic performance. I think Victor Henry is going to be able to, ease one out on the scorecards, 29-28 probably. But yeah, I'm pretty interested in this card. As soon as it's over, I'll be sure to give you guys my immediate reaction. Probably have that done. The card probably be done around like 12, 11 o'clock. So look out for that. If like 3 in the morning, if you guys are still awake, but it'll be out and available Sunday for sure. So thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.